So parents, welcome. My name is Alice Rinke. I'm the principal at Highview Elementary. We are recording tonight's meeting so that other families will be able to view it next week, over the summer, whenever, at their convenience. So I completely understand if you want to turn off your cameras so that you won't be recorded during the meeting. I'll still be able to know if you have any questions because I have some questions that people submitted online through a form, and the form is on our Facebook page, and you'll be able to ask your questions at any time that you want, and we will respond right away. I posted the question form online this morning at like 8 o'clock, and at 9 o'clock we had our first customer. And so it's great because we've had a few questions come in already. So my name is Alice Rinke, and I'm the principal at Highview Elementary, and I hope you can see the screen that I'm sharing right now. This is our presentation about young fives and kindergarten. These are kids that are going to start school with us at Highview at the end of the summer, probably near the end of August. And I have a lot of our kindergarten and our Highview team here to join us tonight. We have one translator with us, Mrs. Wafa El-Zain. And when we start presenting the information, Mrs. El-Zain is going to translate for anyone that needs a little extra assist in Arabic. And Mrs. El-Zain, can you please tell everybody that I am recording this meeting? So if they want to turn off their cameras, that's perfectly fine with us. Turn on your volume, though.
Wafa, we need your volume.
Yeah, turn on your volume. It's
اوكي. هيدي المقابله حتكون مسجله، اللي بحب يطفي الكاميرا نحن بنرحب بهذا الشيء، واللي بخليها كمان انتم حرين.
Thank you so much. So I am going to stop presenting so that I can introduce our Highview team. I'm Alice Rinke. I'm the principal at Highview Elementary School for another couple weeks, but I will be retiring at the end of June. And your new principal is here with us tonight. Mrs. Talib, can you introduce yourself?
Sure. Hi, everyone. I'm Linda Talib. I'm looking forward to meeting all of you and seeing all your children this fall.
اوكي، مس رينكي هي المديره حاليا هلا لمدرسه هاي فيو، بس باسبوعين رح تترك وتستلم عنا مسز طالب. مسز ليندا طالب حتكون اور نيو برنسبل، المديره الجديده تاعت هاي فيو.
And Mrs. Talib has worked in our district for many years. We used to teach in classrooms right next door to each other upstairs here at Highview. I know her very well. You're going to be in great hands next year.
عم بتعرفكم على مس طالب. مس طالب كانت تتعلم بهاي فيو كمان. مسز رينكي ومسز طالب كمان كتير قراب لبعضهم، ورح تكونوا كتير مبسوطين من اللي رح تقدم لنا اياه مسز طالب.
We also have our kindergarten teachers with us. We have 4 kindergarten teachers tonight. If you guys could give a wave. We have 2 of our ESL teachers, Mrs. Benora and Mrs. Gogi, our kindergarten teachers. They'll introduce themselves when they share their portion of the meeting. So I'm going to go back to our presentation screen. So this is our kindergarten and young fives presentation. And in our school district, we have 3 elementary schools. We work extremely well together, and it's really important that we have a strong curriculum For our students, no matter which school the kids go to, they're going to get our very best from our teachers and from our principals.
هيدول هون معنا المعلمات تعول البري سكول، تعول الكيندر جاردن المعلمات، ومعنا تعول الاي اس ال للغه الثانيه. 3 مدارس، عندنا 3 مدارس ابتدائيه بكراستوود ديستريكت اللي هن هيلكرست، هاي فيو وكينلاك سكول، والثلاثه بيعطوا نفس المنهج، بيتعاملوا كلهم مع بعضهم وبيعطوا نفس المنهج.
So tonight you're going to hear about both programs, kindergarten and young fives. Mrs. Talib has been working in a building that has a young fives program this year. We're so excited, and she has some good experience to share with you.
So our kindergarten program is being offered to children that turn 5 before September 1st. However, as of last year, we started a Young Fives program, which is for children who turn 5 between September 1st and December 1st of this year. In terms of, yes, Mrs. Renke is right. At Kinloch, we are offering the Young Fives program, and I've had firsthand experience with what a wonderful program this is. Just think of it as giving your children the gift of time. And when I say that, I mean, we are giving them or teaching them the curriculum, kindergarten curriculum and standards, but we're also meeting their academic and social and emotional needs because they are of a younger age. The Young Fives program is also a full day program, and it runs on the same school calendar that the kindergarten program runs on. It's free to all students that live in the district. So when you think about these two programs, think of the Young Fives program as a program that's just essentially giving your children the gift of time and preparing them for their entire school career.
مسز طالب كانت عم تتعامل مباشرة مع برنامج اليونغ فايف. برنامج اليونغ فايف هو عم بيقدموه لمرحلة قبل الكيندر جاردن اللي هي قبل التمهيدي، قبل صف التمهيدي. يعني المرحلة الصفوف التمهيدية الأولاد لازم يكونوا متممين أو مكملين العمر 5 سنين بأيلول 1. بينما اليونغ فايف اللي هو لما بيكملوا 5 سنين من بعد أيلول 1 لأول ديسمبر اللي هو كانون الأول، اللي بيكون مكملين يعني بيكونوا أصغر شوي 2-3. بتكون هيدي اليونغ فايف هو برنامج لكل نهار، بيكون برنامج بحضروهم لصفوف الكيندر جاردن.
My name is Marisa McNulty. I am a kindergarten teacher at Highview, and I wanted to go over some basics that will help prepare your child for this transition. We know that this is the first time that some children are in a school setting, and so I'd like to give you some helpful tips. Ms. Alzane?
Okay. So Mrs. McNulty معلمة كيندر جاردن كمان لصف الكيندر جاردن رح تعطيكم هي هون tips لحتى لحماية أولادكم ولحماية العائلة كمان تاعتكم.
For safety, it's helpful to have your child learn to tell their first and last name. In addition, we'd like them to label everything. This helps keep track of their personal belongings that are sent to school. So their coats, backpacks, lunch boxes, and school supplies should all include their first and last names.
لحماية أولادكم لازم تعلموا الأولاد يعرفوا اسمهم الأول والاسم العائلي اللي هو الاسم الثاني. كل شيء بيخصهم من شنطة مدرسة، من جاكيت، من كرطاسية، من أي شيء لازم يكون ملصق عليه أسمائهم ليضلهم للسيفتي هذه والحماية تاعتهم الخاصة.
Kindergarten can be a big change for some families. It's a busy day of learning away from family members and old routines. To help your child ease into their school day, it's important that families will say their goodbyes prior to the child entering the building. This will allow the teacher to get started with those morning routines when that first bell rings.
لتخففوا عليهم كمان فيكم تسهلوا عليهم للولاد تقولوا لهم انه الكيندر جاردن رح يكون نهار في شغلات كتير في نشاطات في تعليم في شغلات كتير بتودعوهم على الباب ولازم يكون الولد متوقع انه يبقى كل نهار بالمدرسة.
And finally, it is expected that all children are able to use the bathroom 100% independently when they enter kindergarten. This includes washing hands, so please review proper hand washing at home before your child comes to school.
الولد اللي بده يجي على الكيندر جاردن لازم يكون معلم لازم يكون نظيف ويتعلم كيف يستعمل الحمام لحاله كل شيء لحاله كيف يفك الزرار يفتح البنطلون السحاب الزرار ومن ضمنها كمان لازم يعرف كيف يغسل ايديه.
And if you have any questions regarding the basic skills children need entering kindergarten, feel free to call anytime. We would love to help.
وإذا عندكم أي ملاحظة أي شيء بتحبوا تسألوه فيكم تتصلوا بأي وقت ونحن موجودين هون منرد عليكم.
Hello, everybody. My name is Mrs. Widoslawski. The kids call me Mrs. W. And I will say that this will be my 6th year teaching kindergarten, and I absolutely love it. It is an amazing year for the students, and it's an amazing year for the parents. What you'll find is at the beginning of the year, we're doing all kinds of little things. We're learning letters, we're learning sounds. The end of the year comes, and guess what? They're reading books with little paragraphs in them. They come in writing their name. At the end of the year, they can write little short stories and draw you beautiful pictures. And the same with math. We start counting, and then by the end of the year, they're doing adding and subtracting.
مسز ويتوسلافسكي بيعيطوا لها مسز دبليو كمان صار لها 6 سنين بتشتغل معنا بالكيندر جاردن وهي كتير بتحب تتعامل مع الأولاد الصغيرة ومع الصفوف التمهيدية. الأهالي والأولاد بذات الوقت رح يلاقوها سنة كتير حلوة وممتعة. مسز ويتوسلافسكي بتبلش بتعلمهم الأحرف بتعلمهم الأرقام بس على آخر السنة الولد رح يكون عم ببلش يقرأ وعم بيعرف شغلات كتير تعلمها بهيدي السنة.
Miss W, you ask, how on earth will they be able to do this? Well, let me share. This lovely instructional minute form in front of you is going to be how we get there. And it does look a little daunting, but I will tell you that we will ease your student into this schedule and they will learn to love it. We will be doing lots of hands-on activities with them. So don't just look at these numbers and go, oh my gosh, I'm so worried. This is the method and the way that we get your kids to that end of the year goal. And they will feel so proud of themselves and you will too.
ومس ويتوسلافسكي عم بتقلكم انه كيف قدر الولد يتعلم كل هالشغلات. عنا هيدا السكجول هي موجود هون على الشاشه عندكم بتشوفوا كم دقيقه بيعطوا بالنهار وكم دقيقه بيعطوا بالاسبوع كمان. سو بهيك مقسم الاوقات كلياتها لكل شيء. للماث له وقته، للادب له وقته، العلوم له وقته، العلوم الاجتماعيه وكل شيء مقسم بهيدا السكجول عنا هون.
So in order for this to work, there are a couple of things. Your students will need to come every day and on time, and of course, only when they're healthy.
لحتى هيدا الشغلات يعني الأولاد لتقدر الأولاد تقرأ وتكتب وتتعلم كل شيء لازم على طول يكون الحضور دايما موجود. يحضروا الأولاد ما يغيبوا كتير وعلى طول بيضلوا متابعين مع المعلمة.
And parents, thank you for joining us tonight. I want to let you know that we are recording this meeting. It's okay with us if you want to have your camera on or if you want to have your camera off.
عم تتشكركم مسز رينكي المديرة تاعتنا، عم تتشكركم الأهالي وعم بتقلكم نحن بنرحب فيكم وإذا بتحبوا تخلوا الكاميرا موجودة أو إذا بدكم تطفوها كمان بترحب بهيدا الشيء على راحتكم.
So Mrs. Talib talked about our Young Fives program a little bit. We have a parent who has a child at Kinloch this year in the Young Fives program, and I'm going to share her quick video so you can hear her opinion of it. You can go ahead, Mrs. Alvin.
هون مسز رينكي في عنا اهل عندهم ابنهم او بنتهم بكنلك بهذا البروجرام تاعو اليونج 5 اللي قبل الكيندر جاردن وحابه تشارك خبرتها.
This is Mrs. Hernandez.
اسمها مسز
I'm very grateful for the Young Fives program. For me, especially during these unprecedented times, I worried if my children were getting their educational needs met with the resources available to me. Time isn't always on our side. So when I was given the option to put my youngest son in a program that will give him that stepping stone to his educational journey, it really was a no-brainer for me. Throughout the year, my youngest son has grown so much confidence and excitement for learning that I now know that this was a blessing for our family and for my son. And I am very grateful that the Crestwood School District implemented this program.
مس هرنانديز عم تحكيكم عن خبرتها بكنلك. ابنها كان بكنلك وكانت كتير خايفانة من هذا البروجرام اللي قبل الكيندر جاردن، بس لما انحطته وشافت قديش ابنها عم بيتحسن، قديش ابنها تعلم شغلات كتير إن كان بالماث وبغيره، هي كتير مش ممنونة لهذا البروجرام اللي مقدمه كريستوود اللي هو بروجرام اليونج 5.
So if your child has that birthday range in between September 1st and December 1st, we will be talking with you about this program so you can hear more about it and the benefits for your child.
مثل ما عم بتخبركم مس رينكي، إذا أنتوا عندكم أولادكم بيطبقوا أو بيكملوا ال5 سنين بين أيلول 1 وبين كانون الأول 1 بين هدول 3 أشهر، هي بتعرفكم على هذا البروجرام. إذا بتحبوا تسألوا بتحبوا تحكوا بنعرفكم على هذا البروجرام وشو المنافع اللي رح ياخدها الولد من هذا البروجرام اليونج 5.
Hi, everyone. I'm Mrs. Blashes. My students call me Mrs. B. I'm a kindergarten teacher at Highview. We have 2 available videos here for you, or 2 links for 2 different videos. The first is a walkthrough of kindergarten registration. It gives you a breakdown of the process and any kind of extra information that you would need. And the second video is a welcome to Highview kindergarten video, and it's kind of like a tour. It gives you a walkthrough of the school.
مسز بلانشيز او بيقولوا لها مسز بي كمان، هي معلمه للكيندر جاردن. عم بتخبركم هون انه عندنا 2 فيديو مسجلين، واحد بيعرفكم على كل المنافع تاعو الكيندر جاردن، والثاني بيرحب فيكم. يعني كل اول واحد المعلومات كلها اللي بحاجه لها موجوده هون، بتقدروا تسمعوا هالفيديو بتشوفوا شو الشغلات اللي لازم تعرفوها. والفيديو الثاني هو اللي بيرحب فيكم وبيفرجيكم على المدرسة، على هاي فيو المدرسة تاعتنا.
And we will have this presentation for you on Facebook again so that you'll be able to click through this video. Your kids will have a good time watching to learn a little bit more about our school.
وهيدي كمان المحاضرة اللي هلأ عاملينها نحن، هيدا المقابلة اللي هلأ موجودة حتكون كمان موجودة على الفيسبوك، فيكن انتوا تحضروها وفي الأولاد كمان يحضروها.
Speaking of Facebook, we have 2 links here for you. You can follow the Crestwood School District, and there's also a link for you to follow Highview Elementary School. Also, 2 links for websites. One is for the Crestwood School District, and the other is for Highview Elementary School.
وهيدول هن كمان اللينكس عم بقول لكم عنهم، فيكم تحضروهم او من الكريستوود كريستوود ديستريكت، مش الهاي سكول، كريستوود ديستريكت. بتطلعوا هونيك على الويب سايت تاعولنا، فيكم تفوتوا تحضروا هيدا الاجتماع الصغير اللي هلا، او فيكم تحضروا من الفيسبوك كمان. هيدول موجودين على شبكه التواصل الاجتماعي الفيسبوك، وعلى شبكه الانترنت الويب سايت هذه تاعت المدرسه.
There's a video link in here on the next slide, but I'm going to skip over it for right now. So parents, when you register your child for the first time, there's a lot of paperwork. One that's very important to us every year, but especially in times of COVID, is to fill out this yellow emergency card. You will give us the information about any medical conditions your child has, anybody that is available and authorized to pick your child up if they have an accident during the day and someone has to take them home to get a little shower and then bring them back to school, if you know what I mean. We need that information from you. Also, if your child gets sick during the day, we need to know who to call. And if you're too far away or you're at a doctor's appointment, then we would know to call dad, call the aunt. You're going to give us all that information. It is so important for us.
للأهالي الكرام كمان عندكم أوراق كتير بدهم يتعبوا للأولاد، ومن ضمن هيدول الأوراق في هيدي الورقة هيدي ورقة الطوارئ نحن بنسميها، هي لسلامة أولادكم. أنتوا بتحطوا الأرقام اللي أنتوا بتأمنوا إنه تعطوا الولد إذا بحال الأم أو البي مش قادرين يجوا ياخدوا الولد وصار عنده الولد حالة طارئة. المفروض يكون في نمرة موجودة هون ومسمين مين شو علاقة هذا الشخص بالولد إذا بيقدر ياخده ولا لا. إذا أنتم ما حاطين أرقام هون للشخص اللي أنتم بتحبوا تعطوه، نحن ما بنعطي الولد لأي حدا إلا للي موجود رقمه هون على الورقة. وكمان هيدي الورقة المفروض تعبوا إنه تعطونا معلومات إذا الولد عنده حالة مرضية معينة أو أي شيء لنعرف نحن كيف بدنا نتعامل مع الولد بالمدرسة.
Your kids spend so much time at our school. It's important that we know about their health because that is our priority, to keep the kids healthy when they're with you and when they're away from you. So we'll have you fill out some forms about medication. If they get sick and they need to take antibiotics, you know, the pink stuff during the school day, we can give that to them for you. But we need a signed note from the parent and the doctor that gives us that permission.
وبما انه ولدكم رح يبقى بوقت طويل عنا بالمدرسه، من الضروري ان احنا نعرف اذا عنده شغلات معينه، حاله صحيه مثل ازمه، مثل نوبات بتيجي نوبات او سكري او اي شيء. الدواء اذا الدواء لازم ينعطى بوقت بيكون الولد فيه بالمدرسه، نحن لازم يكون معنا ورقه ماضيين عليها الاهل وماضي عليها الحكيم انه عاطينا السماح لنقدر نعطي هالولد الدواء بالوقت المعين اللي مفروض ينعطى فيه.
I heard Mrs. Elzane talk about asthma. If the child has an inhaler, maybe they're diabetic and they need insulin, we can help with all that stuff. We have a district nurse who visits our building to help out with those health conditions, but you have to let us know about it and we'll put together a plan.
كمان بنعيد وبنقول إذا الولد عنده أزمة أو عنده أي شيء لازم ياخد الدواء. نحن عنا هالشغلات بنقدر بنساعده، النيرس بالمدرسة بتقدر تساعده، بس ما بنقدر نعمل أي شيء من دون أنتم ما تسمحوا بهالشيء وتمضوا على الورقة إنه عاطينا الصلاحية لنحن نعالج الولد بالوقت اللي لازم ينعطى هيدا الدواء فيه.
The next slide just explains that Crestwood is now a one-to-one district. And what they mean by one-to-one district is that every one of our students, whether they're in young five through grade 12, will have a Chromebook, have a device. And you're probably asking, is this going to be the case in the fall? Since this was one of the things that was that occurred during the pandemic, and we honestly don't know what our situation will be in the fall, but our students will still each have a device. And this will just allow each student to be able to access Google Classrooms, shared lessons, ebooks, even email. So they'll have that device at their fingertips, if you will, for this type of use.
مسز طالب عم بتقلكم هون انه المدرسه امنت لكل ولد من الاولاد من صف الكيندر جاردن واليونغ فايف لصف ال 12 امنوا لهم الكروم بوك اللي هو هلا معاهم الاولاد عم بيستعملوه ليقدروا يفوتوا على كل الدروس، يتابعوا مع المعلمات ويقروا الكتب اللي لازم تنقرا وكل الشغلات.
Another form you'll find in the registration packet is called the Home Language Survey. And this form asks if your child's primary language is English, and that also asks if the primary language spoken at home is English. If you answer no to any of these questions, then the student will be tested we'll give a screener test, and they'll be tested for their English language proficiency. So we'll test them on their speaking and their listening to see how well they do.
ومن ضمن الوسائل اللي لازم تنمضى ويتجاوب عليها مسز بنورة عم بتقلكم انه في هيدي الوثيقه كرمال اللغه بدنا نعرف اللغه الاساسيه المحكيه بالبيت للولد. اذا كانت اللغه المحكيه منا الانجليزي لازم الولد ينعمل له امتحان وبيعرف ليعرفوا باي مستوى هو موجود، اذا بده مساعده ولا لا.
If they qualify for EL services based on the home language survey and the WIDA screener, then we can push into their classrooms to help support them with what they work on in there. This could be sight words, it could be understanding key vocabulary, reading strategies, whatever it is that they're working on the classroom, we support them with that. So we, the EL teachers, work with them to improve their reading, their writing, their listening, and their speaking skills in English.
مسز جوجي عم تخبركم هون إذا الولد طلع بحاجة لأنه يتساعد باللغة الإنجليزية، إذا كانت اللغة المحكية عربية وبحاجة ليتساعد فيها معلومات ESL اللي هن English as a second language بتكون هي اللغة الثانية المحكية اللي هي الإنجليزي. إذا كانوا الأولاد بيعرفوا العربي أكتر بيعملونه للامتحان، وإذا كانوا بحاجة لأنه يتساعدوا في عنا معلومات ESL بنسميهم هن اللي بيعملوا الامتحانات، هن اللي بيقدروا بأيموا الولد وين بيكون بأي مستوى بيكون.
Another form that you'll find in your registration packet is called family information. And in this form, you're just filling out any student information, the place of birth, for the student, for the parents, and any other children in your family.
وفي كمان وثيقة تانية هيدي بس معلومات عن الولد، إذا عنده إخوة عنده الأهل ينكتب عليها الأهل الأسماء كلياتهم، أسماء الإخوة والولاد وكم واحد بالبيت.
This is the family privacy and photos form that you are able to fill out. We would like that you sign the bottom of this form if you give us permission to put your child's picture in the school yearbook. I'll let you translate Wafa that and I'll continue.
اوكي هيدي الورقه عم تتفضل فيها مسز طالب انه ورقه البرايفسي والفوتو اللي هي تاعت الصور والخصوصيه تاعت الولد. اذا انتم بتحبوا انه الولد يتصور بدكم تعطونا كمان الصلاحيه لنقدر نصور الولد ونحطه بكتاب المدرسه او حتى بالمدرسه يكون محطوط الصور. هذا كله انه بعد السماح من الاهل، واذا لا بتتركوها ما بتمضوها انه انتم بدكم تعملوا خصوصيه على الولد ما بدكم تعرضوا له اي صور.
Thank you. And this form can also be signed if you give us permission to put your child's picture in a video or whether it's a news story or Facebook or a newsletter. So we would need you to sign this form for that as well.
كمان لازم تمضوا على هيدي الوثيقه اذا بتسمحوا لنا نحط صور الولد على الفيسبوك او على اي فيديو بيمرقوه او اي شيء بكله انتم انه تسمحوا لنا تعطونا البرميشن اللي هي تعطونا انه اوكي معاكم انه نحط الصور. غير هيك ما نحط اي صور اي شيء اذا انتم منكم قبلانين.
All right, this is the volunteer form. Although at the top it says it's optional, it is very important. And I'm going to say that please don't consider it optional because we really would like everyone to fill out this form. And the reason why I say that is because you might think you might not have the time to volunteer in the summer, for example, and we have a field trip in June, and you might say, oh, I want to come on the field trip. Well, these forms actually take some time to come back. This is where we actually ask for your driver's license and the district checks for felonies or crimes against children. So we really, really encourage you to have these forms on file, whether you believe that you can volunteer or you cannot.
وهون مس طالب عم تتفضل وتقلكم على هيدا الفورم اللي هو تطوع للمدرسة، إذا بتحبوا تساعدوا المدرسة كان برحلة ولا بالصف ولا بأي شيء لتفوتوا على المدرسة. هي عم بتقلكم هيدا خياري، بس بذات الوقت هي بتشجع إنه كلياتكم تعملوه وتعبوا لها هيدي الوثيقة، تعبوها كلكم، لأنه بتاخد وقت معين. يمكن أنتم يجي على بالكم أو هلأ تفكروا إنه ما رح تتطوعوا تعملوا شيء او تروحوا على الصف، وبعدين اجى على بالكم انه تروحوا معاهم برحله او اي شيء. حضروا هيدا الفورم، امضوه واعملوه، لانه هيدا لازم يكون موجود معكم ورح ياخذ وقت. هيدا يعني براءة سجل انه انتم ما عليكم اي جرائم، ما عليكم اي جنائيات، اي شيء ضدكم، ويكون الدفتر السواقه تاعولكم نظيف كمان، كل شيء مش تاركين وراكم لا جريمه ولا شيء، لنقدر نحن نقدر نفوتكم على المدرسه ونخليكم تتعاملوا مع اولادنا.
Good evening, everybody. I am Miss McFarlane. The students call me Miss M. I am going to be telling you a little bit about what you can practice over the summer to be ready for kindergarten.
مسز ماكفارلين كمان معلمة الكيندر جاردن، وهلا بدها تعطيكم شوية معلومات شو الولد لازم يعمل يتعلموا قبل ما يفوت على المدرسة.
Kindergarten is such a growth year. They make a lot of growth. They make big transitions in kindergarten. But with that comes a lot of independence. And there are some things that we need them to be able to do before they come into kindergarten. So some of the things that they should be able to do when they come into kindergarten are being able to give their first and last name, be able to zip up their coats and their backpacks, tie their own shoes. And something else that they can practice is writing their name and the alphabet basics over the summer.
مس ماكفارلين عم بتقلكم انه هيدي المرحله كمان بيتعلم فيها كثير الولد وبيكبر فيها. هيدي المرحله من مرحله التمهيدي لمرحله الاول رح يتعلم شغلات كثير. اهم شيء بهيدي الصيفيه اذا بتجربوا تعلموا الولد اسمه الاول واسمه الثاني، يتعلم الولد كيف يسحب السحاب تاعت الجاكيت تاعت الشنطه تاعته، يسحبها، يربط الصباط مزبوط او الشوز الحذاء، يربطهم، يعرف كيف يربطهم، يتعلم هيدول الشغلات براكتس عليهم، يتعلم شو اسمه الاول، اذا كمان بيقدر يكتب اسمه الاول والثاني بيكون كثير منيح، بس يتعلم يعرف شو اسمه الاول شو اسمه الثاني، يعرف شغلات الاساسيه من حروف الابجديه اللي هن الاي بي سيز، يعرف الشغلات الاساسيه منهم اول شيء يعني.
Another very important skill for the students to have when they come into kindergarten is personal hygiene. So that is being able to use the restroom on their own completely independently, coming out, being able to wash their hands, blowing their nose, and washing their hands afterwards. When they go into the bathroom, they should be able to button and unbutton their pants and zip them. And they also should be able to open up, if they're bringing lunches for school or snacks, they should be able to independently open up their food that they're going to be eating.
كمان من الشغلات الضرورية اللي لازم الولد يتدرب عليها هي أول شيء يعرف كيف بده يحط القشاط، كيف بيبكله، كيف بيفكه، كيف بيبكل الزر، كيف بيفك الزر للبنطلون، حمالات البنطلون كمان نفس الشيء، كيف يحطهم وكيف يتركهم، يتعلم كيف يستعمل الحمام 100% لحاله من دون أي مساعدة. ومن ضمنها كمان بنرجع بنكرر غسيل الإيدين، لازم يغسل إيديه الولد ويعرف كيف يستعمل الحمام لحاله ويغسل ايديه. كمان من الشغلات اللي لازم يتعلمها الولد انه هيدا اللانش باكس اللي هو صندوق الاكل تاعوله يعرف كيف يفتحه، كيف يرجع يسكره، ويعرف يتعلم انه شغلات اذا بده يسال عن شيء يعرف شو يطلب. اذا بتحبوا يعني تمرنوهم هلا الصيفيه اول شيء ليقدر يعبر عن حاله، اذا بده اي شيء يسال المعلمه او يسال اي حدا.
The last thing that we would like the children to be able to do is be able to express themselves and their needs. For some students, kindergarten and young fives is the first time that they are coming into the classroom. And so it's very important for them to be able to express things that they need.
أكيد برجع بكررها هيدي إنه الولد لازم يعبر عن حاله شو بده، إن كان لكيندر جاردن اللي هو صف التمهيدي أو ما قبل التمهيدي اللي هو اليونج فايف، يعرفوا شو بدهم يسألوا. خلوهم أنتوا فيكم أنتوا تقولوا لهم للأولاد إنه إذا بدك هيدي الشيء أو بدك تستعمل الحمام أو بدك تاكل او اي شيء بتسالي معلمتك بطريقه هيك بصير الولد يعبر عن حاله ونحن نعرف شو بده.
So again, we are 3 elementary schools in this district, many teachers, and all of our families that are moving forward together, particularly in this year when everybody is looking forward to recovering from the pandemic.
وبنرجع بنكرر نحن ثلاثتنا 3 مدارس مع بعضنا اللي هن هيل كريست وكينلاك وهاي فيو كلهم بيتعاملوا مع بعض وان شاء الله انه هيك بنضلنا نتعامل مع بعض بكل البروجرام بكل اي شيء وبعد وحتى بنضلنا هيك لبعد ما تخلص هيدي الازمه.
We know the challenges that we're going to face in the fall. We are already helping kids transition from being at home for over a year back into our classrooms right now, and we are completely prepared to help your children make this big transition in the fall.
ونحن كتير عارفين انه عنا تحديات كتير بعد ما هالولد قعد كل السنة بالبيت وهلا عم بيتحضر بده يروح على المدرسة. المعلمات هون كلهم محضرين وكلهم جاهزين لحتى يعلموا الولد ينتقل من مرحلة القعدة كل الوقت بالبيت لينقل للمدرسة.
Sorry, that's me. We just wanted, first, before I thank all of you for coming today and taking any questions, I want to thank Mrs. Renke for her years of service and dedication to the Crestwood District and congratulate her on her retirement.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Wafa, did you want to translate that?
Sure. So, مس طالب عم بترحب فيكم كلكم بالأهالي وبتشكركم على حضوركم اللي حاضر معنا وبذات الوقت عم بتشكر كتير مسز رينكي اللي كانت معنا كل الوقت مسابرة معنا بالمدرسة وهلأ صار وقت إنه مس رينكي رح تتقاعد.
I also wanted to let you know that you are welcome to call us anytime at 313-278-8390. If you do leave a message, please make sure to leave your name, your phone number, and your exact question, and we will call you back.
ومس طالب عم بترحب فيكم اجين يعني عم بترحب فيكم وبتقول لكم انتم مرحب فيكم اي وقت بتحبوا تتصلوا عنا هيدا الرقم 313 اللي هو 313 278 8390 بس تتصلوا عليه. لو سمحتوا اتركوا اسمكم واتركوا رقمكم ومسز طالب بترجع بتتصل فيكم وبنشوف شو مطالبكم.
And I wanted to let you know that this, you are able to call anytime between now and June 25th. After that, we're going to ask that you send us an email and we will reply to that as well.
وعم بتقلكم كمان مسز طالب انه من هلا لحزيران 25 فيكم تتصلوا باي وقت فيكم تتصلوا او اذا ما ردينا بتتركوا نمرتكم مثل ما قلنا بتتركوا النمره والاسم ونتصل فيكم بنرجع. بس بعد 25 حزيران رح يكون بس بيستلموا ايميلات اللي هن مسجات على اونلاين على الويب سايت تاعنا.
If Arabic is your best language, go for it. Call us anyway, leave that message, we will get back to you. We also have a way for you to ask your questions in a website. Ask us in English or ask us in Arabic, we will get back to you either way.
وإذا كانت لغتكم الأساسية هي عربي والمفضلة لأنه تحكوها فيكم كمان تتصلوا وتتركوا المسج بالعربي. إذا بدكم تتركوها بالإنجليزي منيح وإذا بدكم تتركوها بالعربي كمان في مين يرد عليكم. دايما في حدا يرد عليكم.
So we're going to take a couple minutes to go through a couple questions that parents have already asked us, and this will help some of your things that you're probably wondering about.
وهلا رح نمرق بدقيقتين بس لنشوف الأسئلة اللي سألوها بعض الأهالي بدنا نمرق عليهم شوي لناخد خبرة منهم نشوف.
And the first thing is, let's talk about COVID. We don't know. Right now, our kids are doing great in school. The kids are wearing a mask 98% of the time when they're here, they're wearing a mask. The only time they take it down is if they're eating their lunch or if they're getting a drink of water. Other than that, it's masks all the time. The staff is fully masked up all the time. Even in my office by myself, I'm usually wearing it just to be careful. We don't know what the CDC will tell us by September, but we're going to do all of the recommendations to keep everybody healthy and coming to school every day.
لحديت هلا بعدنا ما عارفين شو رح يكون اذا راجعين على المدارس كلهم ولا لا، بس رح يعملوا كل جهدهم لانه يكون الولد بصحه وعافيه وبيكون بصحه السلامه يعني موجودين. الاولاد هلا بالمدرسه عم يجوا عم بيكونوا مغطيين 90%. الوقت الوحيد اللي ما بيحطوا فيه القناع على وجههم هو لما بيكونوا عم بياكلوا او عم بيغسلوا. هيدا الوقت الوحيد ما بيحطوه، بيرجعوا بيحطوا. المعلمات كلياتهم بحطوا الماسك كل الوقت مغطيين وجههم كلياته. لحديت هلا ما عارفين كيف رح تكون، بس رح يتبعوا طبعا المعلومات المفيده والمضبوطه لصحه الاولاد وصحه الجميع يعني.
About 50% of our kids are in school right now, 2 days a week. But in the fall, we expect 100% of our kids will be able to be here every single day, all day long.
هلا 50% من الاولاد عم بيروحوا على المدرسه، عم بيروحوا يومين بس بالجمعه. وان شاء الله من هلا لوقت السنه الجديده المدرسه الجديده عم نتوقع انه الاولاد 100% يكون حضورهم موجود و5 ايام بالجمعه.
So one of the questions a parent asked this morning, when can I register my son? Anytime you want. We started registration back in January, and it is continuing all the way until the end of August. And then even if you have family members that live somewhere else, but they're going to move here in September or October, no problem. We'll take new kids any day of the year.
في سؤال من الاهالي سالوه انه ايمتى بنقدر نسجل اولادنا بالمدرسه. بلشوا التسجيل بكانون الثاني، كانون الثاني اول السنه بلش التسجيل، وهلا باي وقت فيكم تحطوا الولد من هلا لاخر اب. لاخر اب بتضل فيكم في معكم مجال انه تسجلوا الاولاد.
We had a question about a child that will turn 5 in October. What is young fives? I hope that we have answered that question tonight. And that is certainly something that I will be able to talk with parents about, and Mrs. Talib can talk with the parents about.
كمان في سؤال كان شو هو برنامج اليونج 5 وانه ولدهم بيطبق او بيكمل ال5 سنين بعد ايلول 1. ان شاء الله نكون افدناكم باللي عملناهم واللي حكينا عليهم ليونج 5. وكمان مسز طالب بترجع بتعطيكم شويه معلومات عنه.
A common question from parents is, my child is kind of a picky eater and they're worried about lunch. Kindergarten team, how would we handle that? Yeah, Mrs. W, that'd be great.
I got it. Well, we're going to try to make sure that the children are eating on their own. There are too many kids in the lunchroom, and there's not enough staff to ensure that your child eats their complete lunch. So I don't mean to give you bad news, but there's not going to be anybody who is going to be able to monitor and make sure that your child eats everything in their lunch. So
that's the way a mom can.
Yeah, the way a mom can, exactly. So please pack them things they like, and if they're hungry, guess what? By the time snack comes, they'll eat something. So they'll be okay, I promise. And make sure they can open it themselves, because it takes a while if the lunch monitors have to open everybody's food. So that's important too.
One of the challenges for new kindergartners is they get to school and they like to talk to their friends so much, they forget to take care of business on their plate. Another question that parents have about the food is, if their kid doesn't really like to eat what we have at school, that's okay. Send what they like, And after a few weeks, the kids can see the food that we're serving at school. They can smell the food. They see their other friends are enjoying it. And little by little, they'll become brave enough to try it, especially on pizza day. All of our food is peanut free, and all of our food is compliant with halal. And I think we lost Mrs. Elzane. And we'll do one more question. A lot of parents want to know, what about break time and what about rest time?
If you remember that lovely chart with all of the wonderful learning minutes involved, I will say there is, whether young fives or kindergarten, the days of napping in kindergarten are kind of gone. So it will be a full day. I'll tell you that your children will come home tired the first few weeks of school, because it is, especially since we've all been home for so long. But they will be engaged in what they're doing, and we do ease them into things too. We have lots of downtime. They have recesses, they have break, they have centers where they're choosing the things that they like to do, so they're enjoying it. We have quiet times, we have tons of story time, especially the first few months of school. So they will have some time to relax. It just won't be a full-on nap.
All right, thank you, parents. Thank you to our kindergarten team. Mrs. Elzane, did you hear enough of that? You could translate a little bit about the break time?
Yeah, actually, I heard about the picky eater. That's it. I lost my connection.
Go ahead.
Sorry. So yeah، في كان سؤال انه في اولاد كتير مقنفه بالاكل وما بيعرفوا الاهل انه شو رح يعملوا. مسز دبليو عم بتقلكم انه نحن عملنا نخليهم للاولاد يتعلموا كيف ياكلوا لحالهم باللانش روم وبكل شيء، وبيعملوا طبعا هن رح يكونوا عم بيراقبوهم انه الولد عم بياكل، لانه الولد عم بيفوت شيء على تمه ويقدر ياكل.
Thank you. And in this call, I saw one of the older sisters cracking up. She was laughing when she heard that there's no nap time in kindergarten. She knows that we really like to use every minute. Thank you to all the parents that came. We can't wait to start meeting your kids in June. We'll be calling you to bring the kids to school for a short time. We'll get to know them, find out some of the things they're good at right now. And then in September, we'll really get to know those kids. Well, I won't, but Mrs. Talib will. Thank you to our kindergarten teachers. We had 5 kindergarten classes this year. I'm not sure how many we're going to have in the fall. I hope that we can fill up one classroom, a small size classroom, few kids that are eligible for that Young Fives program. It will be a tremendous benefit. So thank you to our ESL teachers. Thank you to Mrs. Elzane, who takes good care of us translating so we can communicate effectively with the parents.
سو هون مسز رينكي عم بتقلكم انه نحن كتير حابين نتعرف على الاولاد، ورح تيجي تكون سنه منيحه وحلوه مع مسز طالب اكيد، لانه بهيدا الوقت مسز رينكي ما رح تكون هون. وان شاء الله بتكون سنه منيحه للكل.
Thank you everybody for joining us. Have a great evening.
شكرا لكم كلكم. Thank you.
يلا.
Bye, guys.
Bye, Miss Rinky. We'll miss you.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm going to miss you guys.
I got it. I got a quick question, if you guys are still available.
Sure, go ahead.
Sorry, I just found out about this meeting yesterday, and I was trying to make it
That's
on
okay.
time. For children who require speech therapy and they're in kindergarten, are you guys able to take them out of class? Is that a service available for them? I know right now my son sees Miss Katie, and he loves her, and she does an amazing job with him. Is that something that they can continue?
Yes, if your child still needs it, they continue that. And if a child has speech therapy, we check in with that family and the child at least once a year to see how they're making progress and do they still need services. or are they going to graduate from them?
Okay. And if they still need it, is that something that happens during the school day? Because right now I
It
bring
does.
them.
Yes.
It does. They take them. Okay.
Yep. And actually at Highview, we have 3 speech therapists this year, and they divide up the grades. So I don't know how it's going to work next year, but they do divide up the grades, and they're all very, very good.
Okay, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I have one more question.
Yeah,
Did
go
I
ahead.
have anything super, super important in the meeting, or do I have to go somewhere and fill out paperwork or anything like that?
So we're going to have this meeting recorded for you online.
Okay.
And that'll be on our YouTube channel. So just watch our Facebook page. I'm going to blast out a bunch of links in the next few days. There's one that'll talk a little bit more about the registration process, how you enroll your child at the board office. And if your child is in speech, you've already been through that one time, you'll just have to do it again.
Okay. All right, thank you.
You're welcome. If any other parent has any other question and you can unmute, we'll take the questions now.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead, Mrs. Awad.
Yeah, I already registered my son, but in the board office, they don't tell me which school is gonna go in Highview or Kinlock or other school. As you know,
okay.
as you know, Ronnie is already in Highview, so I
Right.
prefer to go to my other son. He's gonna go in Young 5.
Yeah. So the first consideration is always, where does the family live? We try to get the kids at their neighborhood school, their closest school.
Okay.
I know that you already have a child here. We don't like to split the kids up.
Yeah,
So we make every effort to keep the kids at the same school to make it easy on mom.
Oh, okay. So I already
this year,
registered him, but I didn't get like call back from any of the schools to know which school he go and the papers that I have to fill out. So,
right, and you'll be getting those calls very soon because we want to start meeting those kids in June.
Yeah.
And for young 5s, this was our very first year. So we only had one classroom and all those kids went to Kinlock. Our goal for next year is to have a young 5s class at each of our schools.
Okay.
And if we can work it and have have 10, 12, 15 kids in the classroom, that's our dream.
What about like why you don't teach Arabic?
I don't know. It's something that some parents want, and other parents are just working on it in the home all the time so that the child is learning in English at school and all Arabic at home, and the parents are helping achieve that balance in their own ways.
Okay. Okay, that's all my questions.
Okay, I see a couple more hands that are up. Mrs. Alnair, if you know how to unmute, if you have a question, go for it. Mrs. Alzain, can you translate for us?
Yeah, Miss Alzain.
Sure.
Oh, okay, there she is.
Okay, hi.
Hi, you can ask in Arabic.
فينا نبلش هلا بنسجلها يعني بهاي فيو ولا امتى يعني نسجل؟
يا بلشوا التسجيل من كانون اول، بلشوا التسجيل من كانون اول ورح يضل التسجيل لاخر اب.
اوكي، يعني مثلا فيني روح بكره وبسجلها.
فيك تسجليها باي وقت.
اوكي تمام. Thank you.
بس خليكي معها شوي. Do they have to go to school for registration or just call on the phone, Mrs. Rinky?
So she will call first to the board office, and that's the 278-0906 number. And they'll make an appointment for her to go there and bring the birth certificate and all the paperwork.
اوكي سو لازم تتصلي بالاول بنمره البورد اوف اديوكيشن. انا بعثت لك اياها من قبل ام مصطفى.
اوكي
بعثت لك اياها من قبل، بتحكي عليها البورد اوف اديوكيشن، واذا بدك اياها برجع ببعث لك اياها.
ايه والله يا ريت
تبعتي هونيك
on Joy Road.
سو بتتصلي فيهم قبل وبياخذوا منك موعد وبيقولوا لك شو تجيبي، وثيقه الولاده والشغلات المطلوبه، الاوراق المطلوبه للولد ليتسجل.
اوكي تمام، بس استنى منك يعني تبعتي لي الرقم.
اكيد اكيد هلا بعث لك اياه.
Okay, thank you.
I see a big sister that has her hand up. Did you have a question for us? How about Mrs. Hazimi?
Hi, how are you?
Great, thank you.
I have two questions actually. Number one, this is regarding the Young Five program. So are you guys, they enter the Young Five program, that means the following year they still have to go through kindergarten, or does this replace it? And the second question is, if they do have to go to kindergarten the year after that, is there still a waiver option to skip this program or no?
So the Young Fives is designed to give them basically 2 years of kindergarten. So the first year, they're gently introduced to the concepts and the curriculum, and they have a generous amount of time to learn how to participate in lessons, to play with their friends, and they really get to do a lot more hands-on activities to develop their fine motor skills and their gross motor skills. Mrs. Elzane, can you go ahead?
Sure. So عم بتقلك انه هيدي تدريب على قبل الكينر جاردن، بدربوهم ليستعملوا عضلاتهم الايدين، كيف يحركوا عضلاتهم الايدين وكيف يحركوا اجريهم، كيف يتعلموا. يعني هذه لازم تكون البيسك للكينر جاردن.
Our goal for those kids when they start in Young Fives and then they go to kindergarten the next year, that they are going to be the absolute leaders of their classroom because they already have some of those basic skills and they're ready for more.
So sorry. I was just real quick, I just wanted to make sure. So you're saying there's no such thing as a waiver anymore if a person didn't want to do 2 years of kindergarten like there was in the past?
So there is a possibility of a waiver, but we're going to start by checking in with all of our students. Doesn't matter when their birthday is. We're going to do a little bit of assessment to find what they're good at and to find the things that the skills that we need to build up in them. And then we'll be having conversations with the families to make our recommendations after we actually have a little bit of data and some information that we can talk with the families about.
Perfect, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Does anybody have any more questions for us? Yeah, go ahead.
How are you today?
We're doing great. I'm glad to see you sitting here with your brother.
That's great. Yeah, actually, I'm his cousin.
Okay.
He just came a week ago from our country, and he doesn't speak English. Like his English is 0, and I'm really worried about him.
Okay, well, I'm glad that you spoke up. Mrs. Talib, you'll be able to answer this, and we'll be able to just put your heart at ease.
Hello, كيفك؟ منيح؟
هاي.
هاي.
شو اسمك؟
حسين.
هاي حسين. مسز طالب، شو أخبارك؟ حبيبي لسه ما تحكى للهم أبدا، بس تجي على المدرسة عندنا معلمات بيقدروا يساعدوك. سو ما تخاف. اوكي، في كذا واحد بالبداية بيحكي عربي. اوكي؟ ما تخاف أبدا. اوكي.
And just so you know, at Highview, about half of our kids have Arabic as their first language. So our teachers are very confident and very capable of helping those kids learn the essential English skills as rapidly as we can. And there are Arabic speakers around that will be able to help.
That's great. And also, I have one more question.
Yes.
What day can he start? The exact day?
I don't know for sure right now, but it's going to be in that last week of August. So we'll be getting that. No, not yet in the summer. It will be the very last week of August when all the kids, kindergarten all the way through 12th grade, start.
Oh, cool. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you. If anybody else has any more questions, go ahead and unmute.
I just want to verify one more thing.
Sure.
The mother before me kind of touched base on it, but so for the Young Five program, the ultimate decision is it up to the parents if they want to put them in the Young Five, or is it up to the school after they assess the child?
It is up to the parent ultimately.
Okay.
But we're going to really talk about it and discuss, because believe me, there are some kids that are eligible for that Young Fives and pretty capable socially, emotionally, and academically. There's other kids that might have a lot of the academic skills, but they're afraid to talk.
Okay.
Or they won't interact with their peers, and they need that extra time and coaching all year long to build up all of those skills, the emotional skills, the social skills, because the academics are here and everything else needs to come up so that they can really be a strong all-around student.
Okay, thank you.
And related to what that other, the cousin asked, it has nothing to do with the kid's ability to speak English. There are kids that only speak Arabic who are extremely capable and ready to handle kindergarten, and there's kids that only speak English that still have a long way to go with social or the emotional skills, and they might need that extra year. So the language has really nothing to do with it.
Okay. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Anybody else? All right, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Have a good evening.